Did Mama B just say she's getting bigger every day? Oh, him fun. But I think we know what she means, right? And we all are, thanks to the grace of God. Hello, good morning. Time for today's message. Now, I love movies. I love sitting back and being told a story. It's nice to escape this world for 2 hours or so, to get lost in an artificial one where everybody is stronger, faster, smarter, and better looking. But you know, apart from providing an escape, movies can also be a surprising source of valuable life lessons. Now, the best movies are the ones that are able to suspend disbelief. You know, the ones that make you forget that you're watching a movie. The ones that make you believe that the actor in camouflage is really a soldier. That dirty-looking guy in ripped clothes is really a homeless drug addict and not an award-winning actor with about $50 million in his bank account. A lot of this effect in movies is achieved through wardrobe. Now, they say the clothes make the man, right? Or the woman. So right. The other night, I watched a movie called Parker. It starred Jason Statham and Jennifer Lopez with Michael Chiklis as the bad guy. Not the greatest movie I've ever seen, but sufficiently entertaining. Especially this scene where Michael Chiklis' character and his crew stage a clever robbery at a diamond jewelry auction. Now, after setting off fireworks in the auction hall, Chiklis and his crew turned up dressed as firemen and ordered everybody out of the hall so that they could deal with the fire. Nobody questioned their authority for a second because they walked and talked like they had been firemen their entire lives, full firefighting gear with a shiny red fire truck behind them. Everybody just filed out of the room without question. Then the crew grabbed millions of dollars worth of necklaces and calmly walked out of the place with them. So why am I telling you this? Well, because the clothes make the man. Today's message from the Morning Man is about dressing the part. How many job interviews have you attended so far? How many times have you applied for a visa? How many corporate executives have you pitched your business idea to? How many scholarships, internships, and apprenticeships have you put yourself up for and failed to secure? The number one reason why people will say no to you is because they don't believe in you. And if they don't believe in you, it might be because you don't believe in yourself. You see, dressing the part is not just about convincing others. It's also about convincing yourself. Have you ever put on a perfectly fitting suit that made your chest swell with purpose and conviction? Or a pair of heels that made your legs look like the taut, sculptured limbs of a Greek goddess? This is what the right outfit does to you. It gives you a boost. It makes you believe that you can do anything and be anything. And once you believe in your invincibility, others will too. So today I want you to start thinking about what you will wear tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after that. When you dress for success, you are like a superhero putting on your costume. Everybody knows who you are, and they all want to be a part of your story. So put on a crisp shirt, iron the heck out of that pleated skirt, take a trip to the barber shop, get your nails done. The better you look, the more faith you have in yourself, and the more people will believe in you. So dress the part and get the job done. It works in the movies. It certainly works in real life. My name is Kujo Yankson, and I dress for success. Good morning, Ghana.
Time for the AM News. Now, the minority in Parliament is accusing the police of covering up the case of 500 missing excavators. Spokesperson on Mines and Energy, Adams Mutawakilo, is questioning why the police is silent 6 months after Environment Minister Professor Frimpong Boateng disclosed that about 500 excavators seized from illegal mining operators had gone missing. He alleges the police would never be able to get to the bottom of the issue because some NPP officials are responsible for the missing excavators. He says a future NDC government will investigate and prosecute those responsible, including Professor Frimpong Boateng himself.
The police will not be able to investigate because the 500 excavators were actually shared among ministers, government appointees, and party apparatchiks. So the police is being asked to investigate excavator that has been taken by the government appointees and what have you, definitely there will not be
but
a report for us.
The police remains an independent professional.
The police remain independent. When the former IGP was speaking for the government, didn't you hear? Calling people to tell them that don't expose the government, because if you expose the government, it won't be bad. Is that what sorry, not the IGP, the woman who was appointed under President Nana Akufo-Addo, CID boss I'm talking about. So the police is never independent. 2, the police cannot investigate excavators that were stolen by government appointees. And the minister has promised several times they will be retrieved, and as we speak, they have not been retrieved. And that is why President Mama has made it clear that when voted to power, he will investigate, retrieve this excavator, and give it back to the owners.
Meanwhile, Joy News' Kweku Asante visited a large tract of land where several of the excavators were parked after they were seized, and has come through with this report.
Galamsey has hit the country very hard. In some communities, water bodies and very valuable land have been destroyed by the operation of Galamsey. And so I'm currently here around Adenta from Medina Maya Hut, heading toward Ashalibokye, where excavators have been parked here. They were seized as part of the anti-Galamsey campaign task force headed by the Operation Vanguard, which was a body of the police and the military. These excavators have been here for over 8 months now. Residents around have been reporting to us. They've been telling us that they've heard stories that people have been coming around midnight, for instance, and stealing parts of this. The rains have been falling, the sun has been shining, and still these excavators have been here. The excavators are rusting away, and currently there is very little information on what exactly the state intends to do with them. I mean, of course, it may also be recalled a few months prior to today, the saga of the missing excavators. It was said that over 500 excavators seized had gone missing. Up till date, there is no information on their whereabouts. It became a hot political matter in town, with the NDC flag bearer and former President John Dramani Mahama promising to locate these excavators and return them to what he described as their rightful owners.
Away from that, the Ashanti regional minister has hinted the suspected secessionists behind the recent disturbances in the Volta region may be targeting the Ashanti region. Simon Osei-Mensah told the Ashanti Regional House of Chiefs, led by the Otumfo Asantehene Osei II, that security agencies are firmly on the ground to curb the activities. He will, however, not give further details about the operations of the group in the region.
Since there are lots of people of Voltarian descent in Ashanti region, we have been on the lookout for possible secessionists. We will call on all, including you, the traditional leaders, to help us with information. If you see any group of people in your area being given military training or anything of that sort, please alert us. We have information that some of them are in the region, and we are making efforts to arrest them. This is one of the reasons security in the region has been heightened.
Make the findings on our son's death public. That is the cry of parents of a sick KNUST SHS final year student who died after he was left in the care of his peers in school. Sam Leonard Richards, a final year business student of the school, complained of severe stomach ache but died later at the hospital after being left unattended to for some 3 hours on campus. A video of him groaning in pain in the arms of his colleagues while his teachers looked on generated public uproar. Authorities are yet to make public findings of 2 committees set up by the regional minister to investigate the matter.
I've always been telling my wife that Leonard is resting in the arms of the Almighty.
It's been 4 months since the passing of one Leonard Richard Sam, a student of the KNUST Senior High School. We are here to speak to the parents to understand their frustration and how they've been coping since the passing of their beloved Leonard Richard Sam. Mother of Leonard Richard Sam still mourns her son, described as brilliant and exceptional by his peers. Sam, a final year business student of KNUST Senior High School, 7 July 2020, after suffering stomach pains for more than 3 hours without proper medical care. His mother, Comfort Bedu, shares the pain of losing a son who had barely completed school.
Because I'm saying na asem no esie enso nyankopon na ne kurakura me nke bi kura nka sabre no nke bi anka me kura nka me da honom efise se ye bo wayi kidin kura na me tese wasi me yamu gye me pram me ti kanu asi na me yamu ahye me ti chese me ni ahotokura me da me ntimi na up till now me nsa da aduane mu kura me yamu timi hye me na me yi me se fra aduane nim efise ade ne sie na ye call interview no ye nti hwe mfa ho ana ye se obi anka hwe nkyere ye na yakura na ese ye dia sedama mo kese efise ade amokura ma ye no me ho adwiri me se ye te wa mo se ese ye be hwem se de mo mpomtie ni se de ade ni se ye no kura ne ma eko efise mo di amoko ye no anu no obi a mareho no na chese ye de ye titititi ho saa ni ye di ni saa.
Committees set up to investigate events leading to Sam's death submitted their report to the regional minister Simon Osemensa on the 6th of August 2020. Father of the deceased, Edwin Sam Sr., says the family has had several engagements with the committees, but are yet to be appraised with details of these reports 3 months after they were presented to educational authorities. Edwin Sam Sr. wants government to at least make the findings of the committee's report public.
His absence is a huge loss to us. Leonard was the eye of the family. He was virtually doing everything for us. We can't easily forget him in our life. We can't, especially when I come home and I see his things, his boxes, and it's very painful. We are expecting that the outcome of the investigation must be made known to us. That's the first thing. And what actually happened in the school that made the staff of the school neglect in order to forestall future occurrences. When we know the outcome, things become very transparent. We will know what actually happened.
From the residents in Ahinema Kokobeng in Ashanti region, my name is Prince Apia, reporting.
Away from the Ashanti region, Ghana has been chosen among 4 other countries to benefit from a $5 billion COVID-19 global stimulus package. The post-COVID-19 rebuilding effort is a collaboration between the United Nations Development Programme and the Ministry for Business Development. Sector Minister Dr. Ibrahim Awal announced Ghana is one of 4 countries to benefit from the package. Ghana first recorded its first case of coronavirus in March, and 7 months down the line, the effects of the pandemic is becoming more apparent. According to President Akufo-Addo, after a thorough assessment, government identified job losses, steep decline in revenue, and reduced productivity as areas hardest hit by the pandemic. Launching the post-COVID-19 rebuilding effort, the president said the country is on the path to recovery. 180,000 small and medium businesses have so far benefited from government's $1 billion stimulus package. On to election-related stories now. Chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Jean Mensah, on Wednesday expressed her disappointment over the former President Mahama's failure to show up at the EC's headquarters to file his nomination form, saying she was looking forward to hearing from him firsthand some of the concerns he has raised about the electoral process in the media. The former president was due to file his nomination on Wednesday. NDC's General Secretary Johnson Asini Ketia is blaming the delay in filing on hurdles imposed by the Electoral Commission, claiming voter IDs of some of their supporters were replaced last minute. Kwesi Parker-Wilson has more.
The opposition NDC had earlier advertised 11 a.m. as the time for filing of nomination for their presidential candidate, John Dramani Mahama. But that didn't happen. They later rescheduled the time to 2 p.m. But after 5 to 6 hours of waiting, the NDC finally arrives at the Electoral Commission headquarters. And chanting the name of former President John Dramani Mahama. Soon, the General Secretary of the party, Johnson Asedi Nketia, enters the Electoral Commission's conference hall to meet the chairperson of the commission, Madam Jane Mensah. Now, as he files his nomination forms, he had a concern. Mr. Asedi Nketia gave reasons why the NDC delayed in arriving at the EC's headquarters.
We were unable to come at 11 o'clock because this morning, some of our supporters who had completed the document, provided their voter ID numbers, were calling that the commission has called to change their ID cards. And so all the particulars we had captured had to be revised. And we don't know whether what we have submitted even constitutes the final thing, because some of the names that are here can be called and their ID cards replaced.
But the EC had issues with the claims and allegation made by Mr. Asedi Nketia. Now, Deputy EC boss, Mr. Samuel Tete, explained that the NDC's position were quite misleading.
It's important for the press also to know that the errors that the NDC is claiming they found on the nomination forms. We corrected all these errors. And I quite remember the chair actually asked me to call the parties, that is those who, 10 days ago, those who collected the passcode to get access to our website to download the forms. And I called them and then informed them. So
errors were corrected
on our website. Were correct. Even some of the letter that we even put on the website, I even WhatsApp the letter to MPP, NDC, and all those that I have their numbers on my phone. So the errors were corrected, and we informed the political parties 2 weeks ago. So if for one or two reasons, some of them chose to stick to the ones that they have downloaded and did not get back to the website and then make the corrections, then it's their own problem. But the records are that we effected those changes.
And on the website as well?
Yes, on the website, and we also inform the parties.
I must say, the flag bearer of the Progressive People's Party, Madam Bridget Jobonuku, also came in to file her nomination, but she made a request to the chairperson of the Electoral Commission.
As we are pushing for women in leadership, as you know, we would have hoped that the Electoral Commission would give us, as we did in our party, discounts on the nomination fees for a woman. As it is, we have filed. If you still find it in you to give us that discount, we will be happy to take the discount back. This would be a form of encouragement to other women to step up and not be deterred by money to the leadership positions that we so deserve in this country.
For Joy News, I am Kwesi Parker-Wilson, reporting from the EC's headquarters, Accra.
Now, as part of its 30th anniversary, the optical services company Robert & Sons has donated 15,000-litre water storage tank and 40 packs of Braille worth 10,000 Ghana cedis to the Oppong School for the Blind. There's more in the following report.
Robert & Sons Company Limited donated a 15,000-litre water storage tank and 40 packs of braille worth 10,000 Ghana cedis to a Kropon school for the blind. Speaking at the event was Monique Atta, the Deputy Managing Director for Robert & Sons. She said they chose a Kropon school for the blind because it is a school with vision. Speaking at the event was Monique Atta, the Deputy Managing Director for Robert & Sons. She said they chose a Kropon school for the blind because it is a school with vision. She added that they are offering comprehensive eye care to every individual because the eye is one of the delicate parts of the human body, and advised Ghanaians to check their eyes every 18 months to avoid complications.
In line with our 30th anniversary, we decided to do something to support the Kropon School for the Blind. In communication with them, we realized what some of their needs were. And so, in line with our 30th, as well as the current pandemic that we're in, we thought through the best thing to do to help them provide the services they are providing to the students, as well as to help them through the pandemic.
Mrs. Mahila Na is the headmistress of a Kropon school for the blind, and she expressed her gratitude to the company. She explained the situation of visually impaired children in COVID times.
But in Susukra say a decosi, or stanka, ye nitanka, as to see a school ha. Sa I had no issue, a home, will boho, nansu, near Debiana pipe eba. And see a boho, no say, Buma says a bisu ye juma. And see ye be pipins and a boho, why a chigu tank no. Sene beya, a tot Debian who ye din, or muchi, or muko boons, you know, a what polytank no. All
right, that's it for the AM news for now, but we have a side conversation as well, side day, so there's more to look forward to. The focus is on blindness and vision impairment, as we do every year, but on the AM show, we're going to be taking you through some of the basic things that you should be checking, what you can do by yourself, and when to get out to see a specialist for your eyes. That's coming up on our show. But yesterday in Parliament, we're told that as at business time, only 16 out of the 275 MPs were in the chamber to do parliamentary business. So when we take a breather and we come back with the review segment, Joseph Oppong, our parliamentary correspondent, will join us alongside Joseph Akable. We'll look at the newspapers, tell you what's also making headlines on our website, myjournline.com. Do stay with us. And we welcome you to the review segment. Joseph Akable is in studio. So good morning to you, Joseph Akable.
Good morning, Mama V.
Excuse me?
It's a good morning, Mama V.
Yes.
Did you hear something else?
I heard how are you, but I wasn't sure. You know, you say it all the time, so.
Okay, so how are you doing today?
I'm good. I didn't say you should ask me. You're not interested in that.
Oh,
if you were, you would have asked.
You just admitted that I ask you every day. I only forgot to ask today because I had asked just before we came on air. So,
hey, you
know, I mostly don't ask when I come in. I just wait when we get on air, then I ask you.
I know.
Yeah, but it's good to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
Yeah, my son Joseph. Okay, let's say hello to our other Joseph Oppong, who's joining us via Zoom. Hello. Hey, you there?
Hey.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. I like your attire. You're looking great.
Well, thank you.
As always. Yeah,
thanks a lot. What happened to your Katasco and your Ebri and your, what other school were you rooting for?
All of that will be settled at Logopo. So it's not so much of a big deal.
You know, I was telling our colleague Matilda Mamaga went to Katasco, and we were teasing and saying, oh, they didn't go through Angloga. They came straight to Accra. If they had gone through Angloga, like they would have made it to the finals.
Their headmaster didn't try.
But
I hope he learns the lesson.
But it's a big clash today. It's Opokuwari, Presec, and Adisco. Who's your money on?
Charlie, the Presec guys are in a class of their own, eh? You know, when you look at the figures, comparing the scores that they got to the other schools, you know, you could see that they've been putting in a lot of work and putting in a lot of energy. I was paying attention to your analysis the other day, making the point that it could be anything. There's the possibility that it's because of the kind of competition that they've had with the schools that they've had to deal with, even in the semi-finals and all. But I think, you know, they've shown a lot of class. I wish them well today. Unfortunately, when they win, I think this should be their 6th title.
Yeah.
And they are...
Oh, just was going to talk about the bragging. I thought I heard it like B coming up. But Akable, who's your... Is it still Presec because of the university?
That's my natural inclination, but you know, I don't want to think it will just. This is a different contest, a final.
Yes.
And every point counts. And I remember last year or 2 years ago, Adisado, they had also done so well in the previous stages, and a lot of people thought they were going to have a walk in the park. And it's just in the case of like what Presec is doing now, they couldn't win it. And so it's a different contest. All 3 schools have the chance to answer questions that they may not have answered before, and meeting opposition that they've not met previously in terms of this particular race. And so I think all schools at this stage start at par. I don't think Presec has the upper hand because of how they performed previously. I don't think that will be the case. And Joseph reminds us of the point you had made about the nature of the contest they had. And so I think it's an open contest, and the best school will win. For this one, I can't stake my money on Legon Presec, but I'll be excited if they win because of obvious reasons, because of the Legon in there. But let's see how it goes.
I'm looking in terms of, because they've already grabbed 5. And so I'm looking for, in terms of the number of trophies, I would say I'll be rooting for an underdog. Because a 6th will be Charlie too much for this contest. So we'll see how that goes. But we've got the build-up at 1 p.m. here on Joy News. And the action itself will start at 2 p.m. Thanks to Bright Senior High School in Kokron, Tumi DBS Roofing, Adonko Hand Sanitizer, and Adonko Next Level Energy Drink will bring you all the conversations around it and also the live contest as well. So you can't miss it. Can I ask you guys an NSMQ question? Can I put a question? Opoko Gakpo. Okay, when he joins us, I'll see if I can ask an NSMQ question. But let's look at the newspapers. Joseph, I see you've got the Times.
Yes, the front page of the Times this morning says BOG descends on money doublers, warns public against their activities, and 2 jailed 8 years for stealing cash from bullion van. A story on page 3. A Polugu irrigation dam will bring socio-economic transformation, the president assures. And former President Mahama PPP flag bearer filed nomination forms for 2020 polls. The back page of the Ghanaian Times now. It says Ghana Health Service affirms harmlessness of polio vaccine, and MLGRD launches food safety guidelines for MMDAs. That is it for the back page of the Ghanaian Times. The front page of the Daily Guide now. It says final register for parties in November and show 1 social relief Baumia to NDC. Mahama files papers for 2020 polls also on the front page. And this story, there's also the story about another 1 village, 1 dam are ready. Details of that story on page 6. The back page has some sports story and Kotoko dominating the back page. The first one here says, Blaze heart is with Kotoko. Did you hear the headline?
No, I didn't. Keep your players.
I'm not the one, though, not me. But this is Justice Blay. It's a defensive midfielder who plays for Midiama. We are told he was on loan at Kotoko and he has returned to Midiama. We are told his heart is with Kotoko. Another
his
story
heart is
here.
with Kotoko, but he's not with Kotoko.
We are working
so how do you benefit?
We are working to get him to Kotoko. And so the other story here is Kotoko terminates strike deal. This is it has a photograph of Yusuf Chipsa. It's an interesting story, and I'll look forward to.
I hear you guys don't keep players; they keep coming and going like that.
Yeah, it's the nature of the team. We demand quality. When we bring you in and you don't demonstrate enough competence, I mean, we'll let you go. That's how the top teams behave.
Really?
But still on the back page, there's a story about they want to see us fail. Is coming from Virgil van Dijk. We have heard you. It was they who scored you those number of goals. Barca boss faces sack is the question they're asking about the CEO of Barcelona. So a lot of good stories on the back page of the Daily Guide, I must say, this
because
morning.
It's full of Kotoko.
And Barcelona. Yeah.
Okay. Let's do the Daily Graphic newspaper. Front page, Mahama Jogbanuku file nominations. Resists endorsing aspirants as Santehene cautions partisan chiefs. Well, was it in the papers yesterday that somebody said, do it the way their Santehene does it? And then NSMQ, Titanic clash, Presec at Disco Uwas fights for bragging rights. They're also advertising that Dr. Elsie F. Kaufman, the quiz mistress, will be the next guest editor of the Graphic. In the center spread, don't undermine COVID-19 protocols. That's a call by the Deputy Information Minister Pius Hajide. I've been honest, truthful to the people, says the president. Local organizing committees for Farmers' Day inaugurated. Also another story in the center spread of the Daily Graphic newspaper. On the back page, we will have a conversation on this on the AM show. Polio vaccination starts today, targets 4 million children in 8 regions. They say this is a polio vaccine tested and approved. It has nothing to do with COVID-19. Also, National Food Safety Guidelines launched, and these are the stories on the back page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. Let's follow up with the Daily Dispatch. Front page, First Lady cautions changing NPP will be retrogressive. We will police every ballot box, according to former president and flag bearer of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, who's urged members of the party to guard every ballot during the December 7 elections. You're speaking during the launch of the NDC's 2020 national campaign in Sefirioso in the Western North region, where he said despite expecting the EC to creditably discharge its duties as expected in accordance with the law, the NDC will still be extremely vigilant during the electoral process. As you heard in the news a while ago, the AM news, the Electoral Commission boss, Jean Mensa, says she was expecting that the former president himself would be there to file his nomination, but I must say that the party had already informed the nation that he wasn't going to do that himself ahead of even the filing.
Mr. Mahama's, in fact, described the EC as exhibiting, says, legendary incompetence. And so Madame Jean Mensa made a point that she had expected that if he had come himself, they could have had a discussion on some of the issues which either he or the running mates have raised, for which reason the commission wants to speak on.
Yeah, but is that the platform for that?
Obviously, the NDC Session Ketia holds that position and actually expressed that, I mean, if you want to speak to him about any such issue, you should invite him. But I recall in 2016, Mr. Mahama did not go there either. It was Mr. Session Ketia who led the party's delegation to submit the form.
Yeah.
The NPP, then its candidate, Nana Akufo-Addo, and the Vice President, Dr. Bamia, went the president went to pick the form and went to submit it as well. And so we see that there's a bit of a trend in there. But then again, I agree with you when you make the point that that's why we have an IPAC. It's supposed to be a platform where the political parties meet and have their issues resolved. And so it begs the question that even after Mr. Mahama had raised and cut short his campaign and raised the issues about the register, they had an IPAC meeting and the parties worked out still dissatisfied. And so it begs the question again that you had a platform to engage them and you couldn't, or they seemed dissatisfied, or you couldn't provide explanations that satisfied them. Yet this public forum, the point needs to be made that, I mean, you would have wished he would have come.
Yeah, but the point is also that Mr. Mahama made those comments publicly. So if you want to respond to him, you don't have to physically see him come to file his forms for you to communicate to him. And I feel like we're getting really close to the elections. If the Electoral Commission would stay away from some of these comments, I think it would do all of us a lot of good. Let's take to why were they there yesterday? They were there to
in fact, yesterday, Mr. Mahama spoke about the EC again. He actually urged his supporters, said that they should police the ballots on December 7, and that there's no way his supporters should allow any individual or the EC to interfere with the sovereign will of the people. And so that is after the EC has even raised all those issues that have come up. But
and I don't want it to make it seem like, oh, the man himself had said he was going to come. So the Electoral Commission boss waited and finally
it was clear from the onset that he wasn't going to come.
Otherwise, that's how the narrative is looking like. But he had already said, the party had already said he wasn't going to be there anyway. Joseph Oppong Gakpo is back with us. Joseph, we lost you for quite a bit.
You know, I think it was just most likely of the cuff comment Jane Mensah just, throwing. It's interesting how seriously the NDC General Secretary took the comment, and Mr. Shedin Ketia was on fire yesterday, monitoring the proceedings per what Parker Wilson reported from the AC headquarters yesterday. But I think that these are the dying moments as far as this contest is concerned. We are more like getting into the bumper-to-bumper stretch. To a very large extent, I think it will do this country a lot of good if the leaders can tone down the rhetoric a little. It's gotten a little frightening, monitoring how the commentary is going on, and comment about how people are urging their supporters to be up and standing, and caution that gone out, warnings about trouble if things don't turn out well on election day. I think to a very large extent, we should all exhibit some more cool approach going into December 7th. We've done this before over and over again. This is not like the first or the second or the third time. We'll still through this successfully as we've done on the numerous occasions, and this nation will still remain in one piece. And the people will choose who they want to lead the nation going into the next 4 years. So we'll wait to see. Yeah.
Absolutely. The Daily Heritage newspaper says Mahama goes door to door after campaign launch. And then the Cocoa Board case, Akable, state calls new witness today. How long have we been on this one?
Since 2017.
Okay. All right. So the other stories: make your work attractive to save Gadangbe, Nene Bantamatu Asafua Cheme. And then also I'll create 24-hour economy with decent jobs, salaries, according to former President Mahama. Let's do the Business Finder, and then we'll go to myjournline.com. Business Finder: pensioners not worse off, Snitch declares. This is something that's been going back and forth for a while because the TUC had a different position from the Snitch. I guess that's why we're going back and forth on this issue. Government send power sign agreement to secure $3 billion or dollars in cost savings. Our customers will remain our priority. That's the ADB boss assuring. But the bit about the pension, Snitch has mounted a spirited defense of the existing pension scheme governed by Act 766, stating that pensioners have not been made worse off under the three-tier pension scheme. According to the trusts, the monthly pension paid under Act 766 is better than the residual pension paid under PNDC Law 247. It will be recalled that the Trades Union Congress in August this year appealed personally to President Akufo-Addo to intervene and correct what is called the injustice and unfairness in the implementation of the three-tier pension scheme. The TUC had earlier issued a statement saying many workers have retired on the three-tier pension scheme with harrowing experiences. And I wonder, guys, if people are worse off, and you would see it when you retire and you get the package. So who is telling the truth? Is it Snitch or the Trades Union Congress reiterating the issues of pensioners? Who would you believe?
So obviously the one who is consuming the pot of soup, who on a regular day would have the best judgment as far as whether it's tasty enough or otherwise. And of course, Snitch has a responsibility to protect its image and paint itself in the best possible light that it can. But we wait to see. Maybe, they have all of these pensioner associations and all. Maybe it would be the best judges in all of this. But between Snitch and TUC, I think I'll take the word of TUC more seriously than I'll take that of Snitch as to whether, pensioners are better off today than before.
Yeah, Akable?
Yes, I think there's a fundamental point that everyone within the space agrees, is the fact that Snitch over the years hasn't been able to carry out investments such that pensions are higher than we expect. Quite recently, I saw a story of someone who had worked at GBC for 30 years, and the person had gotten about 30,000 cedis as a lump sum once he retired. And 30 years of your life for 30,000 cedis obviously is no good. The obvious response someone who used to defend it is that, it has to do more with salary levels, because then again, I know people who took a lump sum of 500,000 cedis. But the whole idea of the pensions scheme, that is why people set aside a portion of their salaries, the expectation that you're able to undertake investments that yield a lot of money, so that in the end, you'll be a bit more comfortable than you were, or at least you live up to the standard that you were living when you were working full time. And so that is not in doubt at all. It's not anything that I think anyone would disagree with. And so we expect that, they may disagree, but the point is that we think we all agree that Snitch can do better. And that is where the focus should be, investing in less riskier ventures and ensuring that returns come in for the sake of workers. And people have even made a point about mortgages, using the Snitch for mortgages. That has come up in the party's manifesto and the discussions that have taken place about the possibility that you go for a mortgage because you don't have the collateral, your salary can't support the loan. You use your Snitch because it's a long-term contribution. Even at the time that you may even be going for the mortgage, you would have even contributed for some time. I think the NDC is promising that if you've contributed to Snitch for about 10 years, they will make that possibility available. Workers generally want to be more comfortable, and we should take steps to help them. And I think Snitch must focus on that.
And also the state borrowing from Snitch and not paying up on time. Let's do myjoyonline.com. And this story, Joseph Opoku-Gakpo, is on myjoyonline.com. The fact that, Assad, you guys call it, is it business time? Only 16 of the 275 MPs were in the chamber to do parliamentary business. The minority essentially is calling for a suspension because there are MPs who are filing their nominations. What can you tell us, Joseph Opoku-Gakpo, on this? So,
when you read the standing orders of Parliament, it quotes from the Constitution, Article 102, and the standing orders make the point the presence of at least 1/3 of all members of Parliament besides the person presiding shall be necessary to constitute a quorum of the House. It's not just that bit of it. When you still look at when it comes to decision making, so the business of the House can begin with at least 1/3 of MPs. But when it comes to decision making, Standing Order 108 makes the point that no question for decision in the House shall be proposed for determination unless they are present in the House not less than 1/2 of all members of Parliament, except otherwise provided by the Constitution. So when the Constitution and the Standing Orders of the House are categorical that you can't do business in the House unless you have more than 1/3 of MPs. But funny enough, as at the time, the very first public business that the House was dealing with, around 11 o'clock, a little after 11 o'clock yesterday morning, there were just about 16 MPs on the floor. That's less than 1/10. Eventually, the number went up to a little over 50, which still is not exactly up to 1/3 of all MPs. James Kluchavedi raised that point and asked that sitting be suspended because the House needed to approve the 133 million euro loan for the Sunyani Water Project and another loan facility to the tune of more than 233 million US dollars. And the response from the majority leader was that they understand that these are times when a lot of MPs will not be in the chamber at any given time. And in fact, that conversation had gone on Tuesday, and the the eventual conclusion was that the House had decided that issues of quorum shouldn't be raised because you can't expect all MPs to be on the floor around this time.
Okay, that's interesting because the issue of quorum because of COVID could not be raised, but now you can't really use COVID, can you? So now we're making room for them because of the filing of nomination.
In fact, on Tuesday when the conversation happened, the reference was not to COVID. When the majority leader delivered his welcome address, he made the point that because of campaigning and because MPs need to seek for re-election, you can't expect them to be in the House between now and when election time is due. So actually, the point is usually made that Parliament is a master of its own rules. They make the rules and they revise it as and when they want.
Okay.
So they've revised the rules and said, because you are campaigning, don't expect all of us in here.
Okay.
And be enough to start business even if you don't have the quorum. And in fact, just to round up on this, the majority leader went into history and said 4 years ago around the same time, the situation was same, but the House approved various bills and loans. But it raises questions about whether enough scrutiny is being done and the right people are there to business. Yesterday, when these loan facilities were being approved, I don't remember spotting any minority member on the finance committee who joined in the debate to allow for the approval.
Okay.
Other MPs, the roads committee, the constitutional and legal affairs committee, debated issues that should have been dealt with by members of the finance committee, particularly at the minority level, and it raises questions about
we wait to see how this one would come back and bite us. But Joseph Akable, you produced the Battleground on radio on Joy FM, hosted by our colleague Emefa Apau on Thursdays. What are we to expect today?
We are going to the constituency of one of the minority guys on the finance committee that Joseph just spoke about, Dr. Kesiela Tofosin, against Dr. Kwesi Rashid Etuafo, the Ejumako Enyan Esiam constituency. So I got just something small to tease us.
Okay, here we go.
That in-house bureaucracy, that in-house problem that we have, that has caused us our seats, it seems to have been patched, it seems to have been solved. We can only lose the seat when we are fighting. This we can assure you that there's nothing like that.
Dr. Rashid Etuafo, a man in his early 30s, is confident he's the appointed man to unseat Dr. Atoforsen, incumbent MP for the Jumako Enyan Esiam constituency and former Deputy Finance Minister.
I have asked this question wherever I go. I cannot talk about 2008 to 2012 to 2016. I can say from 2016 to 2020, this 4 years. Put this question to him. What has he done directly in the constituency? But I can put an authority that everything he's done is ordinary.
But are these mere words or their words backed by deeds on the ground?
Let no one brag to you. Let no one create impression outside the constituency that is heavily contested. I do not see that. And I can assure you, by the end of December 7th, 2020, Atoforsen and the NDC will hold the Jumako Enyan Esiam. It is certainly the case.
Here comes Dr. Atoforsen. Kesiela Atoforsen says, in terms of weight, Dr. Rashid Etuafo, his contender, is the lightest of all the persons from the MPP that have contested him in that constituency.
Among the candidates that I've contested in the last 3 elections, I've more or less contested 3 people. Yes, one died, so about 4 people that have come out to contest me. But among all of them, he is the lightest of all the weight I've contested him. The lightest of all the weight. And you'll see his smoothness level pretty soon. The bragging must stop.
Yeah. You heard the 2 individuals. He said the bragging must stop and someone will see his smoothness level. So Battleground is at 8 p.m. We'll hear from the 2 individuals. We'll hear from constituents too. The debate was too heated that we couldn't help but tease our viewers who will be listening on Joy FM.
I can't wait. I can't wait. But here on Joy News, of course, we've got the election brief as well, where we also talk about all election-related matters and take you to the constituencies as well. It's customer week this week, really, and we say thank you. Akpanami Yedamwase. Mongol Day. We celebrate World Customer Service this week. We are joining you, say thank you to you, our valued audience and advertisers. We value you. We're grateful for your continued confidence in our brand. We wish to assure you of our commitment to provide exceptional services to ensure the growth of your business, even in these challenging times. Happy Customer Service Week to you all. The Multimedia Group, 25 years excellence in broadcasting. Okay, I'm going to send you off, Joseph Akable. Joseph Opoku Gakpo also joined us via Zoom for this review. Oh, there you are. I thought you ran off.
Well, I'm here. I was paying attention to the report Joe did from Kojonyako did from the Jumako SCN constituency. The battle of the two KNUST PhD holders. We wish both of them well. Rashid was my senior at KNUST. Ato is someone that we've all seen get the work done in Parliament House. May the best man win.
Okay, it will be settled on December 7. That's it. We'll take a breather. We'll bring you sports. Ghana has a friendly on Friday. Yeah, so we're practicing and training. Oreko would give us more on that and also the ongoing French Open. Stay with us.
Hello, good morning and welcome to AM Sports with me, Oreko Ampofo. Hope you had a fantastic evening and having an even better morning. We start off from our first story, which has to do with the resumption of Ghana football. The Major League and the Division 1 returns next month, but there has been a talk about the mental, capabilities and capacity of these players. And speaking to Joy Sports was Dr. William Kwabena-Owusu, who believes that players do need some form of mental training, especially post-COVID-19.
If Ghana is not very careful, Africa, what is going to happen to us during competitions, we will not like it because we will end up losing all our games. So it is very, very important that the science aspect of the sports is attended. We shouldn't forget that the performance of sports or sports performance is determined by the mind and the operation of its tactical insight and ability. So it is very, very important we need to attend to. Now, don't forget too, that during this COVID time, there were a lot of people who had wanted to quit sports. As we speak, the interest in sports is no more there. And you realize that sports used to be a profession, but as we speak, it's now becoming a hobby. And when it becomes a hobby for people, then I'm saying that Africa will be doomed, including Ghana.
Well, that was Dr. William Kwabena-Owusu. He is, a brain specialist, and he focuses on psychology and sports science as well. But although he stated that the players do need some form of mental training, clubs are still getting ready for the new season, physically and off the pitch as well. Well, there has been some off the pitch issues, and that has to do with Kumasi Asante Kotoko, who yesterday decided to terminate their contract with kit manufacturers strike. And it was, a news that wasn't so well received by a section of their fans, especially considering the mood with which the statement was written. Now, he says, Asante Kotoko Soccer Club wishes to inform our stakeholders and the general public that the kit supply sponsorship and purchase agreement signed with Club Consult Africa has been terminated with immediate effect. We wish to assure our most cherished stakeholders that a new befitting kit sponsor would not only be announced shortly, but also our fans will be given the opportunity to select their preferred design for the 2020-2021 football season. This is in conformity with our resolve to act solely in the best interest of our great club and its dedicated supporters. Signed by the CEO of the club, Nanaya Amponsa.
Let's talk about our sight now. Let's talk about our eyes. It's World Sight Day today, and the focus, as it has been every year, is on blind men and vision impairments. Let me introduce to you my guest in studio is Dr. Emmafa Titiati. She's an optometrist and public health expert, also with PEMF Eye Care. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
And thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, great. Joining us via phone, though, is the president of the Optometric Association, Dr. Remy Ningpe. He's joining us via Zoom. Can we say good morning to you as well, Doc? Maybe not quite this time, but we can certainly come to the studio. Doc, tell us why this day is important, first of all.
Yeah, World Sight Day tends to draw attention and create awareness on blindness and vision impairment, because not boring you with too much statistics, 1 billion people in the world has vision problem. And in Ghana, we are stopping number 2 in causes of blindness due to glaucoma. So it has become important that we let people know about the eye, because it's also been established that 80% causes of blindness and vision impairment are preventable when it's detected early. So we are always interested in informing and saying that take care of your eyes now, because whatever that could lead to blindness, whatever that could cause vision impairment is preventable. That is why World Sight Day, in conjunction with the International Agency for the Prevention of Blindness, have stipulated every second Thursday in October to create awareness, where we also take the advantage and take care of people for free, so that people check their eyes and know their eye status.
Okay.
So somebody might ask, what is blindness and what is vision impairment? Basically, blindness is no vision. Vision impairment, anything that doesn't make you see. Vision is 100%. So anything short of 100%, you have vision impairment. And there are so many causes of vision impairment. Number 1, uncorrected refractive error. That is basically if you need glasses to see well and you don't use it, you have vision impairment. Yes.
Wait. But if you use the glasses for a while, you can do without it, right?
No.
Doesn't it correct the eye?
Glasses is not supposed to cure, but it corrects, like you rightly said. But people always think that when I wear glasses after 2 years, I'm supposed to stop. No, it only corrects when you wear it. Quickly, what glasses does is the eye, anything you see have to go and fall on the retina, which is the back of the eye, before it's taken to the brain for interpretation. But mostly you are not seeing because the light is either falling just in front or behind it. So the glasses just focuses the light to fall exactly on the retina for you to see. So when you take off your glasses, light goes back to wherever it stays. Then when you wear it, so after some years, it will still stay. It is only in few circumstances where people who have their images falling behind their eye or behind the retina becomes better with age, especially the children, because the eyeball is growing in size. So if the image is falling behind the retina and the eyeball is growing, it grows to the retina with time. So that is why after some years, such group of people will not need glasses again.
Okay.
But when your image is falling already in front of the retina, as you go, the eyeball is growing in size. But not to bore, we call it a metropization. Yes. So as you go, the eyeball grows. So the image is still in front of your retina. So you realize that you see your eye, especially you see optometrists, and every year we are changing your glasses and it's not getting better. We are not curing with glasses, we are only correcting.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And there could be nothing wrong with the eyeball, but it is the vision, and glasses is just sitting in front of the eye.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Okay.
Then another cause is cataract. Simply, cataract is, the eye is a room, it's a door. So when there's cataract, it means there's something like a curtain or a blockage in front of the door to your room. So vision becomes blurry. It starts gradually like a fog till it becomes totally opaque and you can't see anything. So there's a simple procedure where that block have to be taken and vision comes back, you know. Then another part which is of so much concern for me as a public health expert is the prevalence of chronic diseases like diabetes, hypertension, which is becoming rampant. This condition also affects the eye and reduces the quality of vision, and of course leads to vision impairment. When you don't check it early, you can bleed into your eye from diabetes, hypertension, and when you don't check early, it affects the vision. So all these things are worth considering. That is why you need a regular eye checkup, because we can detect the early stages when you have them.
Okay.
Then we have trachoma, which also tends to affect the eye. But fortunately, Ghana have eradicated trachoma, yes, which is a good news for us. Then we have what we call glaucoma. And that one is the silent thief of the eye. When you have it, nothing shows you have it. Even glaucoma patients tend to see better. Yes, so it's difficult convincing them why they have an issue, but because of education, we let them appreciate that glaucoma is due to high pressures in the eye that tends to destroy the nerves, and then gradually, and it's like, I always say that glaucoma behaves like a broomstick at home. When the nerves are dying, it's taking the broomsticks one after the other. So even if you are left with two, you still see. So it doesn't make sense why you need to be managed for it. But then we keep encouraging, and we are forcing, when you have glaucoma, we are forcing you to take good care of your eye.
So how do you know you have it, like, especially when you won't show anything?
Nothing.
How can it be discovered then?
So that's why you need to check your eye regularly, at least once a year.
Okay.
See your optometrist, see your eye specialist, and get your eye tested.
So even if I think that there's nothing wrong with my eyes, because I can see clearly, I don't have any issues, I'm not tearing, there's nothing unusual, I should still go and
check
see
your
the eye doctor.
You should still check your eye.
But how many of us do that? Because we only go, it's just like the dentist, you only do it when
you have a problem, which shouldn't be. You know, that's why we're talking about World Sight Day. That's why we are talking about the eyes every day, you know. And then the other causes are the trauma. When there's trauma, it can also affect your vision. And then when there's also cornea, we are in technology. Everybody is using screens. COVID has even increased the rate at which we use screens in globally, everywhere. Everybody is using screen for work
on your phone, your tablet,
and all that,
computer.
you know. And when there's vision impairment, it affects every aspect of our social life, personal care, the community, how you even adjust to things, even at work, you know. Of course, my work doesn't end when there's blindness. We have vision support for people who are blind, and they live their normal life to the full. If in case you are blind, with all apology to those who might have vision disability, there's always a way so that they can still live their life. We support them, we provide them care so that they can still adjust to their environment. But then again, we're also saying if you are fine now, we can prevent that because of the psychological trauma, the social discomfort that comes with blindness. Okay. So it's World Sight Day.
Okay.
And we say take care of your eyes.
Okay. Let's try and see if we can now bring into the conversation Dr. Remi Nikpe. We won't quite see him now, but at least we can hear him speak to us. Doc, if you can hear me, a very good morning to you, Dr. Remi Nikpe. Dr. Ningpe, if you can hear me, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear now. Thank you for joining us on this very important day. We've been talking about basically why this day is important, but I want you to speak to the Ghana-specific issue in terms of how blindness and vision impairment has affected us. If there are any statistics to share with us.
Yes, good morning again. Thanks for this opportunity. So blindness and visual impairment, like Dr. Emefa has been saying, are things that are very important and we should get ourselves well acknowledged about it. Globally, the statistics are a bit scary. Last year, 2019, the visual impairment statistics for the whole world shows that about 2 billion, I mean billion people have visual impairment across the world. And out of this, about 1 billion of it are impairments that could have been prevented or can be resolved or are not worked on in any way. They are just walking around without knowing that they have any problem. And so that's how huge it is. And if you want to just extrapolate what 1 billion means, just using country size, it's about the size of India or probably China. You can imagine how huge that is, you know. So it's a big burden. If we come down to Ghana, the situation is not that different from the global perspective. In Ghana, we have about 2%, a little less than 2% of our population, that's the 30 million, having some form of visual impairment. That's huge. And out of this, just a little less than 1%, about 0.75% of them actually have very severe impairments leading to blindness. That's huge. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can. We're listening.
Yes. So that's how severe the conditions are. And this Ghana statistics is quite recent. We did that in 2015. So you could see that people should take their sight very important. We should try using days like today, World Sight Day, to go check up our eyes and see what the issues are. And MFR has mentioned most of the things that people would need to understand about the causes and what these impairments are all about. We are talking about simple things like refractive errors, getting yourself seen by an eye care professional and giving some intervention that allows you to see and allows your eye to function well. Simple things like your spectacles, simple things like diagnosing diseases early enough so you can have intervention and not totally going blind, as it were, because probably you didn't take the steps that you need to. That's something we can all advocate and have done every year. Usually we say people should check their sight once every 2 years. But if you have any other conditions that are going to hasten the way your sight deteriorates, then you may want to check your sight a bit earlier. And on the public health perspective, like MFA was mentioning, things that are now becoming very, very serious are lifestyle changes and diseases like diabetes and hypertension that are causing visual loss. And these kinds of visual loss are the permanent visual loss that we may not be able to reverse. And a lot of Ghanaians are having to go through these situations. And unfortunately, they find that the visual losses have occurred at stages that we really cannot do so much about. So that's the essence of today.
Yeah, so, but Dr. Ningpe, are there particular areas in Ghana mostly affected? Are there specific places that we need to pay more attention to?
Okay, so from our study in 2015, obviously we found that the most hit areas are the rural communities, places that do not have ready eye care providers who should be available to see. Most eye care providers are centered in big urban communities. Talk of the Accra, the Kumasi, the Sunyani, Cape Coast kind of areas. But moving on into the rural communities, we find less of them, and therefore the prevalence of these diseases and conditions are higher around those areas.
Okay. And just the last thing before I let you go, has COVID brought about anything unusual with regards eyesight? Has COVID-19 affected eyesight?
It's amazing what COVID-19 can do to the total body. There's so much we still do not know about COVID-19. And if you recall, the Chinese doctor who first gave the signal of COVID-19 was an eye person and probably realized that there was this particular infection on his patient's eyes, which were not going with the conventional methods of treatment. And so, yes, COVID-19 can affect the eye, does affect the eye. It's a viral condition, so you can have a viral infection of the eye. Recently in my clinic, I have noticed people who are having swelling on the back of the eye, what we call the retina. It's a condition called papilledema. And we've noticed people who are having papilledema and eventually are COVID. And so it's a myriad of things that we would still need to investigate and see. Probably more things that we don't even know about happening with COVID and our eye. Yeah.
All right, Dr. Remi Ningpe, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for joining us. We've got Dr. Emefa here who will be taking us through some practical things that we need to do. So we will leave you to go and then stay with her in the studio a bit longer. We thank you for your time. Okay, so Doc was talking about COVID-19 and sites, and I saw you nodding. Is there anything in particular that in your clinic as well that you've seen over this period? Yeah, we data have established, and I've also personally seen cases where people with COVID came with inflammatory eye conditions, but they are not really sick, you know. Yeah, they were managed and referred for further care. Okay. Yeah, but socially, from my background as a public health expert, I have problem with. I'm worried about the people who are blind, but we say social distance. How are they going to, you know? So those are some of the problems it has brought for them. And then all of a sudden they can't do a lot of movements, you know, because you don't know when you are social distancing, when you can't see. Yeah, you know. That's a very important issue you raised there. Yes, yes. So that again now question our social support system, our user-friendly facilities. You know, so now it's making emphasis to say that we need at every point in time, every construction we are doing, every work we are doing, anything we are doing that needs people have to be user-friendly for those who also have disabilities. But is that really going down? Because honestly, I haven't even paid attention to it, and I haven't seen any public official, correct me if I'm wrong, who has raised the issue as we've been talking about the protocols and those with disabilities, exactly. Particularly the eye. Yeah, the eye. Yeah. Fortunately, I think at a point I saw that is why those who do the sign language now tries to use the shield. We have a special marks for them where the mouth area is supposed to be clear. You can't use those marks when you're talking to somebody with because hearing, because they need to read the lips to understand. So, but for the environment, the social distancing, unfortunately, no. And so we are using this platform to say that anytime we are talking about health, people with disability also have to be considered. So that when we are making the instruction, and it becomes a responsibility for everybody, you know, including those who have the issues, including to our policymakers, those taking the decisions and all that. Yeah. So that we imbibe it into our everyday developmental issues. Yeah. One other thing I want to ask you, because just this week, one of my colleagues, Mapito, couldn't read the news because she just woke up and her eye was itchy. And then I guess over time it got swollen. Why does it happen suddenly like that sometimes? We have so many causes of sudden blindness. Like, for one thing I always discourage is the habit of always rubbing your eyes when it's itchy. Because the cornea is a transparent surface. When you are rubbing, you can scratch it. You know, then it can end up picking an infection. When we're talking about the hypertension, the diabetes I spoke about, even people with sickle cell can develop sudden issues inside the eye because there are blood vessels in the eye. When there's distortion in perfusion, blood flow and all that, it can affect the blood vessel. If a vessel leaks inside your eye, that is it, your vision will be blurry. You need urgent attention to be treated, which you need retinal specialists, which we have in Ghana, who attend to it. Okay. There are a lot causes of it, but of course you need eye examination to diagnose or identify what exactly caused the problem. So if you wake up like that, what's the first aid? Is there anything like that when it comes to the eye? No, run to the clinic. Okay. Run. Not even the pharmacy? No, that reminds me. It's a no.
That habit of going to get eye preparation from the pharmacy, I totally disagree. I discourage it with all alacrity. Because, you know, we are talking about glaucoma, we are talking about causes. There are some medication that can increase the eye pressures in the eye. You know, even we as eye specialists, when we don't examine your eye, we can't tell what is wrong. You know, so typically if you have friends who are eye specialists, you call them, and by the time you describe your problem, we are having about 10 things in our mind that we think is wrong with you. Till we examine the eye. The eye can never be diagnosed spot on. It needs a thorough assessment to identify what is wrong with the eye. Please, Ghanaians, don't buy eye preparations without prescription. They can always get it wrong. They can always get it wrong. We discourage that. And we've seen issues where somebody has allergy and always going to the pharmacy to get some medication for a long period of time before she could realize she was losing the vision. We checked the history. There's no family history of glaucoma. This patient is going blind just because of that error. She was spending, instead of spending some few money for a thorough eye checkup, it's easy walking in and getting medication. You may feel relieved. Some get wet, but please check your eye. Be prescribed medication before you apply anything to your eye.
Yes, doctor. Okay. So you have a little simulation exercise that you want to carry out.
Yes, yes.
So in the absence of any other information, shall we get to that now?
Okay. All right. So...
and explain the process so that our viewers can understand.
All right. So, well, Friday, we are doing a blindness simulation. Okay. So viewers at home, when we are talking about blindness, you wouldn't appreciate it till you experience it.
Okay.
But it's easy. Just close your eyes wherever you are and try walking around your own environment. That is blindness. When you close your eye, that is it. And you might even forget the nice pictures you saw before closing your eye. Yes. So the light of the world. I always say the eye is the light of the body. Yes. So
I'm going to be blindfolded.
Yes. So all right. Okay. So walk towards me. All right. So walk towards. Yeah. So that is it. You see, the confidence with which she's been in this studio have been deprived.
This is hard.
She now feels like a stranger in her own office. You see, that's how blindness is. It just stops everything. Everything you do, it slows you. We still provide support for people who may have vision impairment.
Wow.
Yeah, light.
Wow.
Yes. We still provide support for people who are blind. You know, there is a lot of things they do to adjust. But we are also saying we can prevent it. Yeah, this is for you.
You know, well, thank you very much. And thank you for doing this. I mean, it's this very brief, but I was just thinking in that brief moment, what if this was it for me the whole time?
And that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. So check your eye once a year. Get your eyes checked. She's so uncomfortable. I can see that emotional moment of just do, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Well,
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah.
Is there a free checkup somewhere?
Yeah, so we are doing a free eye test at UPSA.
Okay.
So we can all walk in and get our eyes checked for today. Our other colleagues in their facilities are also doing a free screening. PEMF Eye Care, opposite UPS, just walk in and we'll provide you with free eye tests.
Free?
Yes.
Okay.
So PEMF Eye Care is at UPS and at Oyarifa, White House. When you just get to UPS at the Prestige Hostel, we are there. When you enter the UPSA, the main administration block, we are set up then and also providing free eye tests today.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Doc, for being here. Really appreciate this moment. Thank you. Well, before we take a breather, though, we're not even taking a breather. We're talking about the National Science and Maths Quiz. And ahead of the contest, Nanayao Jima is at Oppong School. There's PSC Nanayao Safo, who is at Presec. Shall we go to them now and get a feel of how it looks like on the ground ahead of this contest? So let's go to Owas. Let's go to the Ashanti region. Nana Yaojima, tell us exactly where. Oh, okay. Great Owas. What's happening on campus?
Please, if anybody who completed Opokwari is watching us this morning, he'll be very, very angry with you for calling the school great. Because in the Ashanti region, if you say great, before it precedes a name of the school, it means that the school is not there yet. They are forcing themselves to be there. That's why they put great, super, and all those before the names of the school.
Okay, Nana Yaojima, before you continue, let me apologize to all the Opokwari school old students and current students. I am new to the Ashanti region. I didn't know the tradition, so let me stick to the fact that you are at Opokwari school. Go ahead. That have been accepted. So the effigy you see in the shot is that of Otumfuo Opokwari II, the Asantehene between 1970 and 1999, and it is dedicated to the late Otumfuo Opokwari I, the Asantehene between 1920 and 1950. And it was unveiled by His Majesty Otumfuo Osei, the current Asantehene. And it should tell you that the school, Opokwari School, is deeply rooted in Asante tradition and culture. And it's a traditional school. When you come to the Ashanti region, it's one of the biggest, if not the biggest. And they are 2 times champions of the National Science and Maths Quiz. So today, if they are able to go beyond the challenge and win against Presec and also at this other college, they become the 3 times champion, chasing Prempeh College, who is also in the Ashanti region, for supremacy. Opokwari and Prempeh College are the only schools that have been able to win the National Science and Maths Quiz trophy in the Ashanti region. On campus, the spirit of students is very, very high, and it runs through the whole of the region, and Kumasi, to be precise. The whole of the city is behind Opokwari School, expecting the school to win the trophy and bring it to Kumasi, as Prempeh College did not long ago. I have some students with me here, and I'll be interacting with them and find out how they feel about today's competition and how they see their chances. Good morning and welcome to Joy News. You first. This is your first time seeing Opokwari in the finals as a student. How do you feel about it?
I feel this is a very great contest, for we have been in a trophy drought for this particular contest for 18 good years. So imagine releasing a lion in a cage who has been in a cage for 18 years. It is coming with a full force. So today, Presec and then Adisa, they have no chances of winning this trophy. Opokwari is bringing it back to Kumasi.
Wow, a lion coming out of a cage in full force. Let me stand in the middle of you so that you can have a very good interaction. You are smiling. BX773, that's your school number. And Mama V, Opokwari deals with numbers. So if you come to school and you are Kofi, they don't call you Kofi. Rather, the number that you've been given, that is your name throughout the school. And even after school, the Akatechies will call themselves by numbers. Tell me, how do you feel about this day?
Oh, I feel very excited, and then I'm very happy. I'm really happy because we believe in our boys, and then we've witnessed what they can do. We've witnessed a lot of contests, and then we believe that they are going to put out their best. And then it's not only us, in fact, the whole school, the masters and everyone, we are all very happy, excited, and then we believe strongly that we are bringing the cup home.
BX237, let's talk about your chances. We are coming against Presec, 5 times champions, and they are hoping to make it the 6th. And yesterday, in the semi-final, we saw Presec. They did very well. It means they are very good. They are a very good team. How do you see your chances against Presec and Adisa College, who have been in the final consecutive times?
Okay. It's not about being in the final for so much that will determine that you win the trophy today.
it is written that horses are prepared for war, but victory comes from the Lord. And we know our boys, they have prepared very much for this trophy. And for 18 years, we've been testing for this thing. And our brothers at Sofu Light, that's the Premper boys, have been teasing us with this. So now we are not coming there to joke. At the University of Ghana Legon School, we are not coming there to joke. We are coming to clinch the trophy back to Santasi, Kumasi. Yeah.
Interestingly, if you talk about schools in the Ashanti region, if you are speaking to Prempeh College, they'll compare themselves to Opokwari. Opokwari will also do the same. So don't be surprised if you keep hearing the name of Prempeh College and drawing comparison between the two schools. Let me do BX 115. 1154. BX 1154. Tell me, how do you see your chances at this Adel College Presec?
Well, I wouldn't say our chances are very slim. Our chances are very great because we've been against those schools before. We've been against them before. Back in 2002, the finals, it was against Presec, and we won. We have been tested, as my brothers have said, for 18 good years. As long as God is God and God is not dead, we are bringing the trophy back home.
Mind you, this is a college school, so God and Bible quotes cannot be left out. But finally, you don't have your number.
BX 901.
Your number is?
BX 901.
901. You are in your second year, and you've seen the team. How good is your team?
Oh, my name is Ahmed Ismaila, BX 901. How good is our team is a nice question. Okay, from the contest we experienced so far, from our initial contest to the previous contest, you can see the scores raising from increasing, right? Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna take it to yeah. Thank you.
We started with 47 points. Then we came to 49 points, and now we're at 55. So today we are hoping for something like 70 points, and even answering all the questions because we know what our boys can do, and they are really poised for action when it comes to finals. We have a different spirit related to finals, so watch out for Opokwari School.
It's not the first time being to the finals, though. Yeah.
Let me put this to them. You know your team has a challenge when it comes to riddles. We've seen your team over the years throughout the competition, and when it gets to riddles, it looks like they don't perform as they start the competition. For instance, in the first and second round, Opokwari is very strong, but in the riddle section, you see them fall. Today, it's possible that it might repeat itself. How do you see your chances, even with this challenge that you have in your team?
I want to say, my boys, they should relax. Just relax. I want to tell them we have a full force of mighty warriors inside the four walls of Opokwari School, supporting them in every question they will answer. They have our back. We are praying for them, so they should relax for every question they will answer, and then they will answer correctly.
Okay. So let's do it. Your final words for the team. Yes. So send them some message through Joy News.
Richmond and Noble, relax. Just answer the questions as you can. Bring the points. Don't focus on the schools because we have defeated them before and we do it today again.
And you?
Yeah, we are looking for marks. We are not looking for Presec. We are not looking for Adisadoka. They are nothing. Okay, you're just taking a trophy to Ashanti. Yeah, thank you.
My dear Richmond, I used to call him K-Sorry. I know what you can do, and I've witnessed some of your contests, and I know the spirit you have for finals. So today, I'm expecting nothing but the best out of you.
Okay. All right. We are not going to say much. All we can say is that we believe in our boys. Richmond, Noble, we believe in you. You've got the back of the whole school, the teachers, everyone. We are all expecting. In fact, the whole of Kumasi. Our brothers couldn't make it. But then I believe they are waiting for Opokwari School to bring the trophy back to Kumasi. So you've got Opokwari School, and not only as Prempeh as well. So we believe in them. All we can say is that we believe in them, and then that's all that we can say.
I wanted to say.
Okay.
Today,
there will be a different kind of spirit on the stage. The riddles will be different. Maybe we can answer all questions, believe me.
All right, so before we leave you, we will want to do the anthem, the Hebrew anthem. So the Imanus. So let's do the Imanus before we say goodbye to those watching us from Oppong School in the Ashanti region. One, the Imanus. Oh, okay, we are doing it on our knees. Yes. All right.
Imanus tuas Domine, come and do Spirit today. Resurrect in us, Domine. Deus veristatis, Imanus tuas Domine. Come and do Spirit today. Gloria Patria et Filio et Spiritus Sanctus. Imanus tuas Domine. Come and do Spirit today.
All right, so that is it from the Oppong School in Kumasi. And I promise you, if Oppong should win this competition, there will be fireworks in the Ashanti region, Kumasi to be precise.
I can imagine. Nana Yaojima, thank you very much, and thanks to those guys. All the best to Oppong School. They first won the contest in 1997, the second one in 2002. This is 2020. Will there be a third for them? We're going to go on Zoom now. Stephen Yankee is with Prime Time Limited. He will take us through the journey of these three schools. Let me just say good morning to you whilst we run off to the other schools. Stephen, just say good morning to us. Hello.
Good morning, Mama V.
Okay, good morning. Great to have you. Just hang in there for us, okay? We're touching base with the three schools. We've just gone to Kumasi and back. We're staying in Accra and going to Nanaya PSA Safo, who is at Presec. PSA, a very good morning to you. How does it look like on the campus of Presec this morning?
Good morning, Mama V, reporting live from Accra's representative Presec Legon grounds, where some 25 years ago the campaign towards the National Science and Maths Quiz trophies, 5 in all, the highest so far, began. The mood is quite sober as many of the students this morning are studying in the classroom blocks right behind me. But for most of them, regardless of where they are at the moment, the quest is to have Agenda 6, that's trophy number 6, from 1995, 2003, 2006, 2008 and 9. They're expecting to add 2020 to the roster today. Well, the gentlemen are here and I won't take the wind out of their sail. First of all, good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, so tell us your names and we'll get to your expectations.
Eugene Ajekui.
Okay.
Joel Abuaje. Oppong Richmond, Nana.
Okay.
From Ponko Fimano.
And you are?
I'm Pierre Leroy.
Okay, so it's obvious Presec is in the grand finale today. It's been quite a journey, so far, what has been your take on the school's performances so far?
Flawless, actually, because we have faced so many schools. We have all faced the same number of schools, but basically, Presec has really done well for me because we all give them all the other schools gap when you see the points between the other schools, and they are really forcing for the school. They are like representing the school. They are doing very well.
Okay. They are doing well, you say, but it's been 11 years since Presec had any trophy. We've heard about Let's Talk About 6, quite an aggressive agenda last year. It ended in tears. What are our expectations this year?
All I have to say is that I wish all my colleagues the best of lucks, and all they have to do is just suck off every type of fear and nervousness, and we're going to bring the trophy home.
But the Americans are rather proud, and Cape Coast, they expect to have the trophy. What makes you think that Presec is going to win this day?
Well, okay, this is one thing that I believe in. Presec is Presec, and it's one school that you can never try to come and contest with. I'm so sorry for them for trying to come and contest with us, but
sorry for them.
Yes, I'm actually really very sorry for them. If you look at the marks that they came into the finals with, it really saddens my heart to some extent. But all the same, we got to the finals last year to show them that we are coming for the trophy. Last year's finals was just a knock on the door. This time we are entering inside and we are bringing the trophy home.
Okay, that's quite graphic in description. But how do you respond to people out there who say, well, Presec has had it relatively easier. You have met relatively easier contesting teams, and that this final you will meet your match. How do you answer to such schools?
I'd first like to say that we didn't choose our schools. Fate brought them to us. That means God in his own way is giving us the path to victory. The schools were not as easy as it seemed, because as much as the schools might be small, the students were also exceptional. One of them actually beat Boche with 53 points. And Boche, they would say it's a big school, but yet they disgraced them. Presec didn't have it easy, just that we trained harder, we worked harder. We won the highest scorer of the day all times, from the 1-8 stage to the quarterfinals and even to the semi-finals when Oppong also contested. We've beaten Adisadel in many trials as well. I'm not afraid of anything. We are going to win this year.
You are sure? There's no doubt whatsoever?
Not a minuscule amount of doubt.
Okay. So those are some of the students here. They are quite confident of victory. But even then, from the students, we'll speak to one teacher, Mr. Labi, if you can join us. Yes. As we will get the details there, one of the teachers is getting ready to speak to us. But before then, you know, every school is coming to the top. At this school, for instance, I know they are quite loud when it comes to their morale sessions. What's the morale for today?
Well, today they should just expect the best from us, and they should feel that Presec is coming to intimidate them and take the trophy away. That is what they should expect. We are coming, and we are coming big, and we are coming strong.
Okay.
Thank
so
you.
Just if your boys, I'm sure your boys are watching you this morning, and just in case they are listening, and they need you to suck them up. I mean, which one would you prefer to go with? Your school anthem, or do you have any other drama sessions you like to go with?
Well,
just something short, if you don't mind. So organize yourself, gentlemen.
We could bring our drama team right
here. Oh, no,
here.
you are here, so give us something. Give us something. Let's start with your anthem.
Yeah, we'll go with our anthem.
Yeah. So ready?
Onward we march, we charge along to happy victory. To victory, to victory. Our motto is a solid bulwark propping us along. Illuminate to illuminate, with there be Muslim men. In the light, we shall see light. Illuminate you, with there be Muslim men. For Christian training we get a sure solid foundation to take our places in the future of our country.
And so if you are doing the listening, those are gentlemen of the Presbyterian Boys Secondary School. They have the highest record, and they say this year, let's celebrate 6. That's the hashtag they are going with. Do all to get on Joy News for more details, especially our hashtag on social media, hashtag NSMQ on Joy for further details. Reporting live from Presec Legon, my name is PC Nanaya Osafo.
Places in the future of our country. For Christian training we get a sure solid foundation.
Live from Presec Legon, Nana Iya PSC Safo with the gentlemen. Let's cross over from Ashanti, Greater Accra. Let's go to the Central Region. My colleague Richard Kojonyako is at Adisadel College this morning, looking all white and bright. Good morning to you, Richard Kojonyako. Richard Kojonyako, tell us what's been happening on the campus of Adisadel College.
Well, so Mama V, currently we are on the hills of Adisadel College. When all the Cape Coast schools crashed out of the competition in the Central Region, was that at least one of the schools should make it to the final, so they could rejoice with whichever school made it to the final. So Adisadel College, lo and behold, elected themselves to be in the final. Right now, we are told by school authorities that the students here are in prayers. They are praying fervently towards the final competition scheduled for this afternoon, and so they are not leaving anything to chance. They are preparing the viewing grounds for the students to view there, and the staff and the students are poised. They say that we should disregard whatever happened in the semi-final contest. The low point that were earned by Adesador College, because this one is a different contest altogether. It might be that what the questions that were set for that competition, I mean, so they were telling us that the point that they got, and it has got nothing to do with the competition that will be done this afternoon. So they are poised for victory. In fact, it was only last year that Adesada did not make it to the finals in recent times. But now that they are in the finals, they want everything. They will do everything possible to ensure that they bring the trophy back. You remember last year, St. Augustine College, I mean, were the recipient of the trophy. But today, Adesada College would want to make Cape Coast proud. And so here on the hills of Adesador College, the people, it is calm though, but they say that they are preparing towards the final competition, Mama V. And so it's, the excitement is already building up in the air. The drummers, the singers, point is being prepared, and so pretty shortly they would finish their prayers, and then they would join us at the viewing point.
Richard Kojanyako, live from Adesador College, taking us through how the school is preparing. We will go back and see, really, because it's really a big deal for Adesador College, well, pretty much for all the schools, but we'll see how they are preparing, particularly for this big clash. I hear there's a whole screening room for today's session. Stephen Yankee is with Prime Time Limited, organizers of the National Science and Maths Quiz. Stephen, hello there again. I wanted you to take us through this journey. We know that PRESEC, they've won it 5 times, 1995, 2003, 2006, 2008, 2009, and they want to celebrate 6. Tell us about Adisco, Opokuwari, and PRESEC. How far have they come on this journey to the finals?
Well, good morning to you again, Avi, and it's good to see that you have your facts correctly. I mean, I'm sure the old students will be very excited to see how you are telling others about what they've done in the competition. I mean, all 3 schools in today's final really deserve to be here. They all have such a great history when it comes to National Science and Math Quiz. As PSCA was saying from PRESEC, they are 5-time champions. They want to make it 6 this time. I think the agenda was set last year. Unfortunately, they could not make that happen when they lost to St. Augustine's College at the grand finale last year. However, this year they've come back really strong. I think everyone saw their semi-final contest. Those guys really were on fire. But as we always say, each contest has its own dynamics. Even though Adesador is coming into the final with the least scores among the 3 schools, that doesn't mean that we should rule them out of today's final. It can be any of them's day in today's contest. If you look at Adesador, they also have a really good history when it comes to the final. This is going to be their 5th final appearance in 6 years. Really impressive for Adesador College, considering the fact they've even won only 1, but having made it to 5 out of 6 finals is really, really impressive. In 2016, Adesador College won it when they beat Opokuwari School and Infantipim School at the grand finale. The last time they were at the finals was in 2018. If you take Opokuwari School, the last time they were in the finals was in 2016. And this is going to be their 8th final appearance. Now, all 3 schools, since we started the 3-school format, all 3 schools haven't been to the final before. This is going to be the first time all 3 schools are meeting at the final. However, in 2019, all 3 schools met at the semi-final. At the end of that contest, it was Presbyterian Boys Secondary School winning with 48 points. Adisco came second with 34, and Opokuwari School came third with 31 points. So I think if some would want to go by this and say it is going to be a repeat of it, well, we leave that to them to judge. But I think that all 3 schools have an equal chance of winning today's contest.
Stephen, we were talking so much about having a girls' school come this far, but again, we've been disappointed. It didn't happen. Even people coming up to sponsor, particularly, you know, the girls' schools, or paying attention to a girl, you know, making an appearance in this finals, and it hasn't happened.
Yes, that's true. I think maybe Opokwari School should accept some of the blame, because they eliminated Wesley Girls and Holy Child School. Maybe Opokwari should have been nice to the ladies for allowing one of them to make it to the finals. But I mean, this year the girls really did well. Holy Child, Wesley Girls, Ola, they did very well. Ghana National College also, at some point, were represented by 2 girls. They did really well too. Unfortunately, we didn't get a girl at the grand finale. We were hoping that Keta Senior High School, they had 1 girl. Achimota had a girl too. We were hoping that one of them could break into the finals, but that didn't happen. So another year where the girls don't make it to the finals. We hope that the girls' schools will go back to the drawing board again and hopefully come back with a stronger side in 2021 when they would face off against the guys, and hopefully it will be the time for the girls to lift the trophy again.
Yeah, but Stephen, would we get to a point where the balloting will be done such that you don't have the girls coming together like we've seen it happen, so that Opokwari can at a go eliminate 2 of them?
Mavi, will you say the same if 3 boys' schools are in the same contest?
I mean, this is a special agenda. This is a special agenda, okay? I mean, we're not asking for favors. We're just saying, I mean, there are more boys anyway.
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, we will look at that. We will look at that and see what can be done. But we are not promising anything at this point.
Yeah. But I want us to look at the strengths and weaknesses of the 3 schools going into this finals.
I think that of the 3, you would say that Presbyterian boys are coming into the final as favorites. If you look at their performance at the semifinals, that was really, really impressive. You can see that the agenda really to win the SID trophy is set in motion. Everything is set for them. Looking at their progression from the 1A stage where they beat Agri Memorial and Sunyani Senior High School, it was not it was a convincing win for the boys from Legon. I think that it was in the quarterfinals that they faced a little opposition from Ghana National and Koforidua Sectec. Even that, the boys were able to break through. And we saw that at the semifinals. Many thought that because Kumasi Academy had been able to dispatch Infantine School at the 1A stage, it was going to be a repeat of Kumakai's performance. But we saw that Presec came to the party. They came strong, and they won the contest convincingly. In fact, there was no doubt about their performance in that particular contest. So of the 3, you would say that they are coming into the contest as favorites. Adisadel seem to be the underdogs in this contest, judging by the scores that they end at the semifinals. Very low scores. Even in the very first semifinal contest, Buan Ponsem, who lost with 22 points, and their score was higher than what Adisadel is coming into the grand finale with. But it hasn't been all tough for Adisadel. At the 1A stage, they faced little opposition from Bishop Herman and Takwa Senior High School. They won that with 50 points. Went on to the quarterfinals. That is where people were expecting that St. Peter's were going to stop them. I mean, Michael Oppong was coming back with all his scriptures, his quotations this year. Remember, at some point, Dr. Kaufman asked him if he was seeing Egyptians again. He said, so they were around. And we know he was referring to Adisadel College. And people expected that Michael, being one of the most experienced contestants this year, coming back at the quarterfinals, it was going to be an easy victory for St. Peter's, but that wasn't the case. At some point, they were all shocked to see how Adisadel came to the party once again to prove that they also are powerhouses when it comes to national science and math quiz. We can agree that their semi-final was tough, but a win is a win. Today is a fresh set of questions. All schools have equal chances, and I think that we shouldn't rule out the Zebra Boys from Cape Coast in today's final contest.
And Stephen, we thought that this was almost going to be impossible to bring the excitement back, but prime time has done it again. Just hang in there for me, okay? Let me just quickly go to the phone lines and speak to the Director of Communications, Bright Senior High School, because they've made it possible for us to bring the coverage and keep the conversation going here on Joy News. Mr. Isaac Asari, a very good morning to you. Thank you for the collaboration with Joy News this year. You've been watching and observing as well. What are the thoughts that you want to share with us on the contest this year?
Thank you very much, Mama V. Good morning to our cherished viewers and welcome. The performance this year has been very splendid. Watching from our quarters, the various performances, you could see that Ghana is doing great, and we have a very bright future because our senior high students are indeed learning very hard. Joy News has also been great in this whole activity, trying to bring it close to the people, for the people to be part and see what kind of progress is going on in our various schools. The teachers who have prepared these students are also wonderful people, and the students themselves are availing themselves to go through the various training and coming out successfully in this competition. I will commend the whole activity.
Yeah. Well, this call is to say thank you for the collaboration with Joy News this year, making the coverage possible. So thanks to Bright Senior High School. Certainly thank you to you, Mr. Isaac Asari.
You're welcome.
All right, Stephen, and I know that you also have great partnership people who are making it possible for Prime Time to bring this year's contest, which has been absolutely crucial. Because of the COVID-19, things have become a lot more expensive. You've had to go around the country many times than you would have. It looked almost impossible, but you did it, and the excitement is still there. You know, people are still feeling the same way that we were feeling last year, even though we haven't converged in our numbers at a particular location. We would have been at the National Theatre, for instance, today. We're not, but it hasn't taken the excitement away.
Yes, that's true, and we really appreciate the support from all our sponsors. The support from our fans has been immense. We really, really appreciate the love that they've shown us since we started the preliminary stage somewhere in the first week of September up till this time. And we are really, really grateful to the Ghana Education Service. They've been our backbone and our support for many, many years, supporting us and sponsoring the National Science and Math Quiz. This year, we also have support from Absa Bank. They have sponsored the regional championships that were organized in the Central region, the Eastern region, the Greater Accra region. And they continue to be our main partner in this year's edition. We also have support also coming from Joy News. The coverage has been impressive from regionals through to prelims up to this point. Sending reporters to all the schools has been really, really good. Thank you so much, Joy News, for all that you've done to promote this year's edition of the National Science and Math Quiz. We also want to say a big thank you to Prudential Life Insurance, to Goyle, Airtel, Tigo, Dano Milk, Academic City University College, Accra College of Medicine, Central University, GTP, Newmont Ghana, Adanse Travels, Medifair Multi-Specialist Hospital and Fertility Center, Newmont Ghana, Third Eye Care and Vision Center, and YFM for all they've done for us this year. And we only look forward to a bigger and better 2021 edition of the National Science and Math Quiz.
So, Stephen, next year, God willing, Infantipim will start from the regionals, correct?
Yes, again, same place they started this year, back to their roots.
Okay, no, don't talk like you have nothing to do with Infantipim.
Mama V, when is Zico coming to the national championship?
We will come, we're on our way. I was just asking about Infantipim, but you just turned it on Zion College right there. Well, maybe next year will be better. We thought Keta was going to do it for us, and those of us from that side, but Keta couldn't pull through to the finals. That was very disappointing.
At some point, I thought Keta was really going to the finals. The team was really good. I mean, they've been to the semifinals a number of years. I think the time is coming when they will break into the finals, just one of these years.
And then Michael Oppong, you did mention Michael from St. Peter's. What happened this year? What do you think went wrong? Is that because you are there, you know, Maxwell and the others are there, but most of us are not. Was the atmosphere different?
Well, I can't tell. I mean, Michael was at the grand finale last year. He's seen it all as a Form 2 student, I think no other Form 2 contestant this year has the wealth of experience that Michael came into this year's competition with. So many of us expected that Michael was leading his school right into the finals again this year. And I think they themselves were confident that they could make it. Maybe they underestimated the team from Adisadel College, that they could easily dispatch them. I don't know. In fact, it was really a shocker to all of us. It was a shocker to him because he didn't see his school crashing out of the quarterfinals as they did this year. But I think some of these things happen. They just had a bad day. I'm sure they will come back with a stronger team next year. Hopefully, they will be part of the team that will be building that 2021 team, and maybe he can give them a few scriptures here and there that can push them in 2021.
Yeah, hanging out with the boys, Stephen, yesterday. So Pokuari School, none of the boys will come back because they're all final year students. Same story with Adisadel and also Presec. So it looks like we won't have, at least from the crop of this batch, which is the finalists, we won't have any of them return.
Yes, we won't have any of them return. In fact, this year we didn't have many Form 2 students. We had only a few. So we wouldn't have finalists coming back as we had in 2019, where Michael came and returned this year. You know, it's really a gamble if a school, and in fact a big school, is coming with a Form 2 student. It's a big gamble, because what that means is that the Form 3 students are not really up to it. I think that St. Peter's really did well last year in bringing him and carrying him through all the way to the grand finale, showed that they were really confident in him. And I think that he was still good this year, only that at the quarterfinals it was a little tough for them to win that contest. I mean, the win was very slim. They still did their best. And I think they would go back and rebuild the team and come back with a much stronger side in 2021.
Okay, so listen, Stephen, we'll put 1,000, me and you, 1,000. Who's your money on?
Today?
Yes.
Let's talk at the end of round 4.
Thank you very much, Stephen, for the analysis, for the time for this conversation, really. And good job with prime time with the organization this year. Another good one. All right, Stephen Yankee there. Let's also talk to one of our proud sponsors, DBS Roofing. We say roofing, Papa. Antonio Boss, who is the brand's manager, joining us via phone. Very good morning to you. What are your thoughts? First of all, thank you for this association this year. You've been monitoring the NSMQ this year. What are your thoughts? Antonia?
Hello?
Yes, Antonia, you're on air. Did you?
Yeah, I can hardly hear you.
Okay, so let me ask the question again and see if you can hear me better now. I'm asking for your thoughts on this year's National Science and Maths Quiz.
Okay, we hope for the best. We wish that the best team wins, or the best school wins, and then they make us proud.
Okay, but thank you, for the collaboration. Thank you for making it possible for us to share the excitement with our viewers. Without this partnership with DBS, our coverage wouldn't have been the same. So we wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you to DBS Roofing.
You are most welcome.
Okay, Antonia Bosu is branch manager, DBS Roofing. And of course, we've got one other sponsor making the coverage possible, and that's Adonko hand sanitizer and Adonko next level energy drink. We say thank you as well. One final trip. Let's go back to Adisadel College. Let's complete that conversation. Richard Kojanyako has got some students with him now. Take it over, Richard. If you can hear me, I know that you have some of the students with you now. Let's hear what they have to say and how they are preparing for the finals this afternoon. Okay, Richard can't quite hear me, so I guess we have to hold on to that. Take a breather. We've got show business coming up, and I have a big birthday dedication also to make. Let's try again and see if Richard Kojanyako can hear me this time around. Richard Kojanyako, we're coming back to you this time. I know you have some Adisadel College students with you. Let's hear their thoughts on this final journey.
Well, so thank you, Mama V. So I've got some students of Adesada College. They say that the school is poised for victory. Let me speak with you. How do you see the upcoming contest?
Oh, I know we are going to win. I know we are going to, because, well, the quiz boys really prepared and they worked hard, not only academically but also spiritually. They prayed and everything. God is on our side, yeah. So I know we are bringing the trophy home.
Looking at the performance at the semi-final stage, does it still give you some confidence that, and looking at what Presec got, does it give you still the edge to go on?
Well, since they are not the same questions, I will say we should forget the past and focus on the future. And I know, yeah, we'll make it.
So tell me, what do you think about this context?
Okay, I think our boys for good because they have placed in much effort. And I know what they have placed in. They're going to end more results because God is on our side. I'm not saying God is not on their side, but God is going to grant us unmerited favor. And I know at this college, yes, this is our second time and we're bringing it back. Don't worry.
So tell me, what's on your mind now?
Oh, a lot is on my mind now, but I know that we are bringing the trophy home because people are saying that the last time we brought the trophy home was in 2016 and that was an election year. So 2020 being an election year, we are going to bring the trophy home with full vim. We are coming with full vim. We are bringing the trophy home to morale.
So you are saying that any time that Adisco picks it, it will be an election year. So 2016 was an election year and 2020 is an election year and you're going to pick the trophy?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, I see.
Exactly, you're going to pick it. And for the coming years, we are also going to pick it. Yes, we're going to take it back to back. Yes.
So let me pick your thoughts on the upcoming contest.
We have high hopes because we've done it before and we know we'll do it again and we'll bring it home and everything should be easy for us. So we expect them to bring the trophy home to us because we've done it before and we got on our side and how they learned. We saw them learning, all of us saw them learning. We know that they can make it and bring it to us.
What are you guys doing in the school to support them? We were told that you were impressed this morning towards this final.
Yes, we pray and we prayed a lot, two consecutive times. And we are always watching, we are always keeping track of the time so that we can go and watch and see how they are doing. Like even though they can't see us giving them the support, God is carrying it there to them. And He's giving them the courage that we are having here. He's giving it to them, He's supplying it to them there. So we know that they'll make it.
So can I get a school anthem of Adesada College?
Okay.
On the hill, well, primus quaco primis, alma mater of great men, Santa Claus shines on. Adisco, great Adisco. We shall never be beaten. We shall always bear the palm. Adisco, Adisco, Adisco. We shall never be beaten. We shall always bear the palm.
So these are static students from Adesada College already psyching themselves that the trophy is going to be here. They say that they are carrying the hopes and aspirations of all the schools from the central region. So from the hills of Adesada College, we hand over to Kadi in the studio.